Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker, and for this next problem, we're going to do some more work with area word problems. All right. Rest in peace to the ancestor on my hoodie. This is the late Chairman Fred Hampton, who was a leader in the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense in Chicago, Illinois, who was assassinated at a very young age, the very young age of 21 by the United States government, due to the effective nature of the work that he and many others were doing in terms of uplifting Black people and the Black community in the Chicago area. Just as many of the members of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense in the 1960s and 1970s were under attack. All right. On the night when he was murdered in Chicago, also Mark Clark, rest in peace to Mark Clark. Mark Clark was also murdered at the same time. All right. Now, let's get into this problem. So this is a word problem, and the actual word problem is included in the description underneath of the video. I'm going to read the word problem. The word problem reads as follows. Jackie is marking off a section of a yard in order to practice field hockey. I don't know how many of you are familiar with field hockey. Field hockey is a sport played on a rectangular field, which is important to know because that information is not given in this problem. But that's something that we need to know in order to be able to figure out what formula we should be using. All right. Typically, it's a girls or a women's sport. I've never seen, maybe forgive my ignorance, but I've never seen any men playing field hockey. If there are men playing field hockey, no offense. The area of the section is 56 square meters. All right. The area of the section is 56 square meters. The length of the section is 8 meters. What is the width? What is the width? So I like problems like this because this problem is not straightforward. This involves you understanding the formula for area of a rectangle very deeply, because usually you're given the length and the width and you're told to calculate the area, which is kind of easy to do, kind of straightforward. Just multiply length by width and you get the area. But sometimes in a problem like this, and this is why I like problems like this, because they're a little more challenging, right? They require you to think a little bit more. Here they give you the area and they give you one of the dimensions. In this case, they give you the length. And then your job is to figure out what the width is. So we still got to use the same formula. So let's write the formula down. Let's do that. Let's always start out by writing the formula down. All right. So, and also we know that where field hockey is typically practiced is in a rectangular field or rectangular area. All right. Similar to like a soccer field, a football field, a basketball court. You know, these sports are practiced on a rectangular type of field. All right. So we got area equals length times width. Okay. Now we're doing a little bit of algebra here. Now, in this particular problem, we know the area of the section that Jackie sectioned off. We know the area is 56. So we're going to replace this letter A in our next step with a 56. So we write 56. And let me see. Do I know the length? Yeah, I know the length. I don't know the width. I know the L. I don't know the W. So we got 8 times W. So we got to do some algebra. Now, intuitively, somebody could just look at this and figure it out as long as you know your multiplication facts. Because what this is saying is 56, if I translate this into the English language, from math language into the English language, 56 is equal to, or is the same as, 8 times what number? 8 times what number is equal to 56? Now, if you know your multiplication facts, then you know that 8 times 7 is 56. So you know that the answer is 7. All right. And that's one way to do this problem. It's a very efficient way. Just make sure you know your multiplication facts. Another way to do it is if you do the more involved algebraic method, then what you're going to try to do is isolate this W on the right side of the equal sign. Now, the way to isolate the W is to get rid of the 8, right? So you get rid of the 8, and then this multiplication sign will just drop off because it just doesn't need to be there if there's no other number. So how do we get rid of the 8? By doing the opposite operation from what the 8 is involved in. Right now, the 8 is involved in multiplication. So the opposite of multiplying is division. So in order to get rid of the 8, we're going to divide by 8. But because this is an equation, we need to be balanced. We need to be balanced, just like ancient Kemet, Mayat, you know, all of that. balance is one of the principles of Ma'at, right? So if I divide by 8 on the right-hand side, I also need to divide by 8 on the left-hand side. So I'm doing 56 divided by 8 over here. Boom, boom. These become ones. So now on the right side, I'm left with 1 times W divided by 1, which is just W. And now W is isolated. And now if you know your division facts, because division facts and multiplication facts go hand in hand. If you know that 8 times 7 is 56, you also know that 56 divided by 8 is 7. So this is just another way to get the answer, but we already knew the answer was 7, right? Or 7, let me see, 7 meters. 7 meters. So that is the width of the rectangular area that Jackie sectioned off, 7 meters. All right. So again, when you got a problem like this, when you know you're given the area or you're given a perimeter, first start out with the formula. Write the formula down and then just replace the letters with any numbers that you know. And then just figure out what the missing number is. This is like a game, right? So don't think math is all difficult and scary and everything. It's like a game. That's all it is, like a game. You're trying to fill in the blanks. You're trying to figure out what number goes right here to make this a true statement. So 8 times what will give you 56? 8 times 7 will give you 56. And that's what it is. All right? So go do some more practice with problems like this, and I'll see you on the next video. Rest in peace to Fred Hampton.